Thank you so much for joining us today for our webinar on elevating secure document experience in the Gen AI era. My name is Shomik Ghosh. I'm Senior Assistant Editor at ETCIO and ETCISO, and I'm honored and delighted to be your host and moderator for this discussion today. Now, the BFSI sector has been harnessing AI to boost productivity and gain valuable insights. There's a growing emphasis on implementing advanced enterprise-grade security and privacy solutions. And of course, with Gen AI, the story was no different. However, with a regulated industry like BFSI turning to Gen AI, there are a lot of concerns and there are a lot of important and pertinent points CIOs and CTOs have to bear in mind. For instance, data collection and storage, data leaks and exposure, informed consent and transparency, and of course, regulatory and compliance issues. And in this webinar, we're going to be discussing all of that. And to do that, let me welcome my co-host and moderator for this discussion, Ketaki Rastogi. Ketaki is the solutions consultant at Adobe. Ketaki, thank you so much for joining us today. It's a pleasure hosting you.
Thank you so much, Somik. So I think we can get started now.
Sure. Well, Ketaki has worked with both domestic and international customers. And she's worked across a lot of industries such as government, IT, BFSI, pharmaceuticals, manufacturing, and retail. So our audience would love to hear from you, Ketaki. Let's get this started.
Thank you. Thank you for that description, Somik. And I'll also kind of request for an interactive session today. There is a Q&A panel at your disposal, so keep asking us questions and we should be able to respond to them. So I think let's get started.
Yep. Well, Gen AI, it wasn't too long ago when people were talking about Gen AI and whether it is going to be a shiny object or it's not. And now we know for a fact that it's no shiny object, it's real and it's here to stay. And a lot of organizations today are turning to Gen AI, contemplating on how to be rolling them out.
Absolutely. So before we begin, we actually want to do a short poll on how many of you have had a past experience with generative AI and are looking forward for this session. And how many of you, for how many of you is it something that is a new topic out there?
Sure, I'm keen on seeing that as well. I mean, it's one thing to use ChatGPT, but then I'd really like to know how many of them are actually dipping their fingers, taking those real baby steps into Gen AI at this point. All right, folks, can we have the first poll question come up, please? All right, pretty simple yes and no choice out there. Do you see a Gen AI solution? Are you using a Gen AI solution today? Ketaki, what's been your observation, when Gen AI first rolled out to the public to where it stands right now?
I think it's been a journey. Being in the industry for quite some time now, I think we've been interacting with AI solutions way back. I think even 5 years from now, we had AI solutions in place. But 2 years back, around 2.5, 3 years from now, almost back, when we had the sudden wave of generative AI in particular, I think it has changed the wheels of all the sectors, right? And there are influences and decisions being made every day, whether or not solutions and certain business aspects can cater to the demands of tomorrow, which will need the Gen AI solution. And I think this is a healthy mix of people that we have in the session today. It's great to have a 50-50 score. So I'm
This
sure...
is the first time I'm probably seeing a 50-50 score right down the middle.
Perfect, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, the session is, I think, well placed for experienced as well as novice users, where giving you an insight into Gen AI and what it can do for you, especially from Adobe's perspective. So before we begin, the agenda that we are going to carry today is first understand the need of the hour. So I know a lot of you here today are from BFSI sector. Today we're going to discuss and understand first what is the need of using a generative AI solution in your workplace. Then we're going to talk a little bit about how Adobe can help and also talk about a few success stories that we've already had. This is a new technology, but people are getting their hands dirty with it, playing around with it so that, you know, their customers tomorrow can benefit from the solution. So that being said, let's understand the landscape of the BFSI sector. And I think you would know this better than I do, but it sometimes really works well to know the facts, that are on the ground. So in India, we are on track to hit around 100 trillion transaction volume by 2025. That's the kind of digital transactions that we're going to have by 2025. Also, the estimated projections of the fintech market for 2025 is so in 2021 it was $50 billion. The India's fintech market was $50 billion, and again it is going to hit around $150 billion just by 2025. What this tells us is that there is a massive growth that this particular segment, that your sector is going to face and is already facing as we are speaking. Also, when you look at documents in your sector, right, you're flooded with it because whenever a customer like me comes to you and has an interaction, opening a bank account, opening my FDs or mutual fund portfolios, all of this has a documentation footprint attached to it. Now, when you combine all of that with the population of the country, we almost have around 250 billion documents that are circulated and are in place every year. Now, doing or managing these documents manually is a task, right? And that's where there is an information overload, if we may call it that, that is being experienced by employees like you and I who are serving the clients, right? We are tasked with processing a lot of data rather quickly. So what we have seen is 80% of the global workers face this information overload. 8.2 hours almost are spent by an average knowledge worker every week trying to gauge the content that they see, trying to transform it and construe it in a manner that it can be exchanged by their counterparts, customers, friends inside the organization so that it can be made use of it. And 85% of the employees cite that the technology will help them make their work a little bit faster and a little bit easier. Right. So knowledge workers like you and me, studies show we are looking for solutions to get our work done faster. Then comes the point of, do we really want to have Gen AI as our friend? You know, when we are working, doing our day-to-day tasks, do we really want an assistant with us who can help us navigate through all of this plethora of information that comes our way? And what we have said, and what we have seen, these are a few numbers by studies that have been done, right? 65% of your customers are saying that they're going to be trusting businesses that use generative AI. So that's one green flag for us to go ahead and use this generative AI as our friend. Right. And also 90% of the AI will be workforce partner. 90% of, all of us will have an AI friend as we do our day-to-day activities, and numerous such numbers that tell us that yes, generative AI is a good thing to use for our day-to-day business, just to add as a layer of assistance so that we can get our tasks, everyday tasks, done a little bit easier and faster. Also, this is pertaining India, right? When you look at it, certain top banks here in India, this was a study done by EY, wherein SBI, HDFC, and Axis Bank are now adopting, generative AI to give better services to their clients. And also, data shows that BFSI sector's IT spending was a whooping around $13.2 billion in 2024. And a lot of it is Gen AI related, right? So we are in that juncture of time wherein actively financial organizations are seeking technology as a friend. So this is where Adobe can actually come in and help you. So Adobe, as you know, you would have all used Acrobat in some way, form or shape, right? That's where now what we have done is we have empowered our Acrobat solution with generative AI so that it can be your friend and your assistant while you're reading through the document. Now, it's not just something that we designed today, right? Or maybe a year from now. This is something that we have been building over for a decade and now has come into a shape and form that we can come out with it to our customers as solutions that would benefit you. So initially we started with AI functions inside of Acrobat, small things like ability to identify certain form fields so that, if you were creating a form, it will be able to tag fields associated in that form. So we had something called as Adobe Sensei I think this was even around 7 to 8 years back when we had Adobe Sensei that could help you manage your forms a little bit easier and set up those fields for you rather than you doing that manually. 2 years back, we came out with Adobe's Firefly. Now, Firefly is Adobe's family of creative generative AI models that help to generate beautiful visual content. So what that does is if you give it a command that I would like to maybe see a roll of rupees placed on top of a mountain, shining as bright as the sun. So then like if you give it this particular command, it will be able to generate an image out of it. So Firefly is purely image based. Earlier this year in March, we came out with Acrobat Gen AI, which is what we call as AI Assistant, and it gives you generative AI capabilities inside the document. Now, what does this really mean for you, right? So what it means for you is it helps you generate summaries of the document. So first, it sits like a chatbot within the document, right? So you can go ahead, open the document in Acrobat. It will be on the side and its interface is just like a chatbot. So your assistant is right there and you can ask questions to this assistant as you read and navigate along that document. Also, it helps you generate summaries. So if you want to summarize the document really quickly, it can help you do that as well. And also, we also have transcript support now. What that means is suppose you and I are having this conversation and it gets recorded. Generally, most of the conversations get transcribed. So there's going to be a translation from the speech to text. And this text can be then analyzed by generative AI. So we have integrations in place with Zoom as well as Teams, Microsoft Teams, wherein we can help you generate quick summaries, understanding what happened in a particular meeting, and also towards the end stating who needs to do what as the second step, something we all need to and should be capturing while having conversations during our meetings. So let's see what are some of the real world use cases. So before that, if there are any questions, I would love to take them. I see a empty Q&A and that doesn't really make me very happy. So if there are any questions, please feel free to put it in.
Yeah, I think our audience is just easing into the topic, and yeah, we're going to see some quick questions real soon. But KDK, I mean, really interesting stat that you pulled up out there at the beginning. About 8.2 hours lost per week in physical documentation processes. How much of a difference can Gen AI make, especially let's say with the KYC process?
Absolutely, that's a great question, Soumik, and it can make a lot of difference because at the end of the day, it can help you analyze the document, pull out content. So you don't suppose during KYC, I have a client who has submitted maybe 10, 20 documents that I've got, right? I can add those, analyze those rather quickly, just ask the AI that, okay, where does she stay, or do we have her educational documents in place? I'm just making things up, right? Not very knowledgeable about KYC as well, but yeah, so whatever questions you need to ask that document, rather than going and doing a manual search, you can go ahead and just ask the generative AI. And I think we have a few questions now. Thank you, Manish, for starting this off. So
Yeah.
Manish has asked, is it possible to summarize legal documents? Absolutely, yes. If we have enough time, I'll show a quick demo of that as well, Manish. You can absolutely summarize legal documents. In fact, we can analyze documents up until 120 pages. So a lot of times you may want to understand, not just summarize the document, but understand what are the risks associated with this contract, right? Or what are the nuances of this contract, or so if there are any confidentiality terms that you need to kind of adhere to. So you can ask these questions because maybe the responses are in multiple regions in that particular contract. So definitely not just summarization, but a proper analysis is something that you can do with the generative AI solution. Aman has also asked, what are your views on effect of existing IT infrastructure in an organization on adoption of generative AI? That's a great question, Aman. I am a firm believer of, you got to use what you have and then build up a very traditional Indian mindset, right? Like we don't let things go to waste. So I always feel that whenever you take on a technology partner, you need to ensure that it first can sit with your existing IT infrastructure, right? Second thing, generative AI need not be disruptive, right? It is disruptive. We are saying it is disruptive in a way, it will change the way we do work. What we need to look at it is as an assistant wherein it can support us. So when you say like with Adobe, we have introduced AI assistant on Acrobat itself, right? So it's adding a layer on top of your existing infrastructure. So it's just that. And with AI assistant, we have given our customers the ability to use it on Pro Standard Reader. So even if you have Reader, which is a free solution, you can procure AI assistant packages and share that within the company to multiple people, and they can start using it to read their documents. So it's easy to deploy solution as well. So, I mean, you really don't need that. Bikram Jeet has asked, how are you ensuring security of information? I'm going to cover that, so I'm going to keep that for later. Let's keep that question here.
Yeah,
Does
let's
it
keep it.
summarize the document with relevant concepts? Okay. I think the second layer of questions, let's take them after some time, after we have gone through a patch of a little bit of presentation, because some of these questions will be answered.
Yeah, the first layer of questions were really good. Just a follow-up question to what you just answered prior to this, and that's around the question of infra. Now, you've worked with a lot of BFSI organizations. How much of a challenge does legacy infra pose to the deployment of Gen AI?
So there is a little bit of challenge. I won't be you need to have systems in place that can support the technology. You need to have policies in place that can support the technology. Two things: systems, because if you're maybe at a branch level and are looking at some 10, 15, 20-year-old desktop, and you're hoping that it'll support generative AI solution, it may not. It might be time for an upgrade. Secondly, all the Gen AI solutions that are there in the market today, they need a lot of horsepower to work on. So they're all cloud-based solutions. There are very few, and because it requires a lot of, processing power to set up the solution, it makes more financial sense for organizations also to kind of have a cloud or have someone like Adobe manage it for multiple clients together, right? So of course you need to have a cloud first policy also in place, which a lot of banks now do.
They do.
So I mean, we are in the right path, but yeah, we can take it from there.
Sure. And folks,
Okay.
keep those questions coming. We're going to be taking all of those. Go ahead, Kirti.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I'm going to get to all these questions. So just bear with me for a minute and we'll respond to as many, we're going to respond to all of them. Okay. So now when we look at financial sector, right, there are multiple personas that multiple people play, right? You could be a loan officer, you could be a research analyst, auditor, compliance officer, an insurance agent. Anybody in the organization who needs to look at documents will benefit from such a solution. So I'm going to take you through a bunch of demos, and we're going to see how Acrobat's generative AI, which is AI assistant, can actually help. So in this case, what we're trying to do is we're going to generate a summary of shareholders report. So here you can see I've opened up my Acrobat and I've opened up this shareholders letter. And on top of my screen, I can see AI assistant right on top. And all I have to do to interact with AI assistant is to click on that pink and purple button. As soon as I click on it, it gives me a broad level overview, right, about what the document entails. And it also empowers me with a few questions that I can just click on and start navigating. So if you do not have anything on top of your head, you have certain assistance in, in forming the questions that you want to ask. So I want to ask, what are the top challenges in this company is facing, right? It gives me a response picked up from this particular document. So we are picking up response from this document and giving you a response to the question that you have asked. And if you see, we are also having annotations. So if you see here, there is an annotation, there's 4 listed here, which actually marks back to the document itself, ensuring that as you read this particular response, you're able to analyze where, this response has been picked up from, and you're able to verify the response. Now, whenever you use a generative AI solution, the biggest challenge anybody has using a generative AI solution is the responses that you get need to be verified, right? So with these annotations, we are actually making it easy for you to verify as you read along. And then once you're done verifying the response, you like that response, you're going to copy it and push it in a report, in a form of an email as you go along. Suppose there was a task wherein we had to compare earning call transcript. Suppose I am someone who handles a particular portfolio of mutual funds, right? And I want to understand where my next investment should be, which will be most beneficial for my customers. To do that, I want to understand what is happening in companies in, say, IT, right, where I am thinking of investing. I want to see their earning call transcripts and analyze those. So here what I have done is I have picked out the earning call transcripts of 3 organizations, LTIMindtree, LTTS, as well as KPIT. Now, these are publicly available documents as well. So, and I'm using generative AI to analyze these 3 organizations, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask it a quick question that compare the earning call of KPIT, LTIMindtree, L&T Technology for various aspects of growth, hiring, etc. in a tabular format. So Another thing, and I'm going to talk about it in a little more depth, is look at the framing of the question as well and how detailed the question is. This is a super important thing whenever you are dealing with any generative AI solution out there. The better, the more nuanced your question is, the better responses you will get. So when I ask generative AI this question, it actually gives me this response wherein it has compared the three organizations for revenue growth, their hiring that is happening in that quarter, margin trajectory, wage hike plans, segmental focus, technology, client engagement, and all of this is annotated. So again, if I had to navigate through those three documents, and each of these documents are 25-page long documents, right? With generative AI, I'm able to get this work done, say in half an hour, because it's just asking, re-asking, and validating the response that I now need to do. And once I have generated this comparison, I can, of course, just go through the annotations really quickly to see that, okay, this is the right data that the generative AI has given me. And once I'm done, I can nicely put this up in a presentation just like I have for you. All I have to do is to click on this copy button right here. And once I click on it, I'm able to paste it in a nice presentation comparing the three organizations. So something that might have taken me maybe half a day to, analyze, do, and to format it in such a good looking format took me maybe half an hour, at the most 45 minutes, wherein most of my time was spent in one actual task, which is verification. So even the utilization time, the utilization of my time is much better rather than, looking into and creating a table and putting text in it. So that way is really helpful. Okay, I think let's just take a few questions before I show a few more demos. Security question, Vikramji, just bear with me. I have the response in the text, so I'm going to answer that. Nimit has asked, does it summarize the document with relevant context, example, terms, concept, pertaining to pharma, life science, biotech, healthcare, high tech? So it's easier for business users to consume the information faster. Definitely. You can always, kind of put in these nuances in the questions that you have. And I have a slide on how to prompt Gen AI solution, because you might know that there is a field that is emerging these days, which is called prompt engineering. And it's actually something that all of us, it's pretty nuanced, but it's great to have an understanding of it. So once you design prompts wherein you ask the solution to make you understand how a particular concept is relevant for maybe healthcare or biotech or high tech, then it will give you responses in those format. To give you an example, I have used AI assistant first to generate content of this session as well. So we had certain company documents that I could analyze and extract quick details out of using this. I've also used it at times to create emails, letter of intent for RFP documents, so on and so forth. So does a reasonably good job there, really brings down the amount of time I would have otherwise spent on it.
A very relevant question as well, Nimit, because there are a lot of people talking about explainable AI and causal AI. So the concept of context has become very important nowadays.
Absolutely. Context is king, as I say. You can have a question, but you need to lay down the context. And in fact, that's one aspect of prompt that you need to cover. So I have 5 things. I'll talk about it in a little more depth a little later. Okay. So where will be AI deployment or running, and what data will be stored? Great question, Manish. The AI, as I said, requires our servers for it to process. So we have, as of date, we have servers in US and Japan. As per the load that the number of people that are asking and things like that. We load balance between the two servers, so it would be one of these two servers where this document is being processed. And what data is stored? So we do not store customer data. We do not train our generative AI model on customer data. All your questions, your documents are cached for 12 hours, after which they are automatically deleted. The questions that I had asked here, the questions and responses stay in the user interface. So when you come back tomorrow or day after, you will be able to access the questions and the responses that you have got, and those are stored at an end user level. So it will be stored on your Acrobat application on your desktop itself. We're not storing it on the cloud. On the cloud, once the processing takes place after 12 hours, it gets deleted. Anish has asked, is it possible to generate a consolidated, summarized information from multiple documents using it? Absolutely. So Anish, in the previous document, I analyzed 3 documents together. In this next demo, and I'll just do a quick demo of comparing insurance policies, right? I have 2 insurance policies here. One is a simple plan and another one is a plus plan. So here I've got these policy. One document is 40 pages long. The second document also will be of similar length, so 36-page long document. And now I can ask it to summarize these documents together. In fact, I'll have a few questions as well. And we can also, it'll also create a generative summary for you that will summarize these documents. So just ask the question and it'll do the job for you, right? Like here we have, I want to understand what is the benefit of having the plus plan over the normal plan, right? So it is then telling me about the unique features. I can go ahead, navigate where this particular, instance or inference has been drawn from, so on and so forth. And I can, of course, copy this and paste it wherever I go. So yeah, simple answer, it can summarize up to 10 documents. So here when you can add up to 10 documents, right now it takes 120 pages per document, but these limits are also going to be enhanced in the near future, right? Now, Vikas has asked, how does it integrate with LLM? I mean, how are you interacting with trained data to known insights from documents? So that's our proprietary, that's where Adobe comes in, right? While interacting, that's the layer that we have built over our LLM solution, so that your documents do not directly interact with the LLM solution. The data is extracted, processed, and brought back to you. So we have an extraction interface that we use, which actually helps in 2 things. So actually, when you look at Adobe, right, we are a 30-year-old organization. Our flagship product or the first product that we ever built out was PDF. So we understand the structure of PDF really well. So whenever you are using any LLM solution, but when you use Adobe, that's our differentiator, because we understand documents and the structure of a PDF really well. We are able to pull that data from a document and then push it through to an LLM solution and have that, process it for us and give you these great annotations back that will help you understand and validate the responses as well. Again, a great question, because hope I was able to answer that as per your liking. Then we have Manish. Manish has asked, are all Indian languages supported, specifically multiple language? Unfortunately, no, Manish. Right now, we only support English. We have European languages, I think German and one more language coming in the next quarter, but that's a part of our roadmap. For Indian languages, it might be, it might take a while. But yeah, so this will work only on English for now. So Manaf has asked, does it work on a guided or autopilot AI feature? Manaf, this question, if you could elaborate on it, would be more helpful. Nimit,
Yeah, I mean, give us some context, perhaps.
yeah.
That would help.
Yeah. Nimit, can we do a Q&A with pool of documents, that is asking questions and assistant answers by scanning hundreds and thousands of documents? So Nimit, as I said earlier, we have a limitation of 10 documents that we can analyze together. And yeah, right now we are not working on scanned documents, so that's another limitation for you. But again, the support of scanned document and increasing the number of documents as well as the number of pages within the document, that's on our roadmap. So we should be hearing about it real soon. Bhagesh has asked, interested to understand use cases of Gen AI in lending space. So particularly in lending, if you, I know you have credit score analysis, and like before you lend money to any individual, I'm sure you have to analyze the footprint of that individual or that organization in depth. Now, this footprint, a lot of it could be in terms of documents, and you could analyze those documents. Like you could have a credit score document here, plus additional documents that you can analyze together and understand and build a use case, build a case if you want to, give a loan to that person or not. So that could be a use case here.
Yeah. Kirgi, do you think, Gen AI can also help, especially in the lending space, accumulate different data from, let's say, CIBIL and different credit unions, credit bureaus, amalgamate all of the data like what we saw in your example there, and then give a better picture or a better analysis to the lenders out there?
Absolutely. So all the data that is coming to AI Assistant in document format, we can pick it up, analyze it, and give you great results on it. For now, we are restricting to the document because that's what we want to do for you. We want to be an assistant that helps you navigate through your documents a little bit easier, right? In our future, we may, kind of even have direct integrations and things like that. This is a actively, this is a product which is being worked upon day in and day out. This is a priority for our organization as well.
Right.
Every month, we are in fact seeing a lot of releases. So there is something new that is coming in every month.
Right.
How secure is, Anish has asked, how secure is the data shared over cloud, especially when it comes to maintaining confidentiality? I'm going to be talking about the security concerns a little bit later. So I'm going to pull that with the initial question we had. Manish, can I compare RFP responses received from multiple vendors with respect to RFP points circulated by my company? Absolutely, Manish. In fact, we had an organization who did that. So they also had once they wrote a prompt asking to give the quotation in ascending or descending order. So, right, it took the quotations from multiple documents and then placed it in ascending and descending order. And you could also, have it set it up in a tabular format like I did, asking the right question. Again, Manish has asked, how do we limit for a certain document types in users? Great question again, Manish. So AI Assistant is like a package that is so whenever you procure it from Adobe, it will be given to you as a package in your admin console. So you can assign it to relevant users. Right. So that way, it is limited to those users. So even from a security perspective, I know there were two previous questions. So this response will help you also from a security perspective. So only people who have access to those packages can run generative AI on the documents that they have access to. So it's not that whenever generative AI is there and it is looking into documents that you do not intend for it to look into. And if I as a user have access to 10 documents and I use generative AI on those 10 documents, that's all that I can see. It's not that it'll give you a response from a document, because we're not an application. We're not on like a Teams application or a SharePoint. We are just on Acrobat. So whatever access I have to whichever document, only those documents I can access. So again, this is one of the security features, acts as a security feature also right there. Yeah, so I think that answers the question. What is your view on accuracy of information generative AI as these are there is bias which is required to be factored. As we know, the tools work best on huge data and text that is fed, and hence it may have biases. So Crystal, great question again. But so Adobe as a policy, we have we work on the principle of responsible AI, and we cater into the fact that there are lesser biases. So I know inherently there could be certain biases where you are getting, but as an organization, if you kind of flag these responses on my screen, you can see I have the ability to flag a response. So we really take all of this feedback very carefully and treat it with care and kind of reduce those. Otherwise, we actively, every day, we have people thinking about this particular thing, right? I think I'm going to take all of these questions towards the end now. So I'll leave a little bit of time for that.
Sure.
Okay, so let's get back. So here we saw these 3 use cases about how, you could understand, manage your documents really well. But your responses are only as good as the prompt that you give this AI assistant, right? So whenever you're writing a prompt, you need to be aware that you have 5 things in place. First, you have a task defined. Like suppose I'll take that example of comparing quotes from multiple vendors. So I'm going to say, please compare the quotes of multiple vendors, ABC, DCE, XYZ, in a clear professional tone. So that's the tone that I'm going to use, or the tone of the language I want the AI to be in. Because if I'm writing a LinkedIn post, I can say business casual, right? Here, if I want it to be in a professional tone, I can say it's a professional tone. In the format, so I'll say something like in a tabular format. Give examples. So give examples of what all do you want to compare it against? Maybe the quotation, the duration, the delivery of the quote, the force majeure clauses and things like that, or any you want to also any other nuances that you would want to, parameters that you would want to compare. So give these as an example, and if you give it like 2-3 examples, it'll pick up 5 examples of its own. Like if you saw initially I had to compare 2 documents, I had given certain parameters, especially in the earnings call, I had given certain parameters that compare it in terms of revenue, growth, and things like that. So it'll then give you responses. So give these examples in and lay down the context. So we need this comparison to share with our leadership the best, quotation for XYZ requirement that we had flagged out in the market. So lay down the context, give it as much as information as possible so that you can get a nuanced response, which you can just pick up and, take to your seniors or circulate inside the organization. So having these 5 things set up, task, tone, example, context, and format, is very crucial for you to get the right responses from AI Assistant. AI Assistant is also available on phone. So if you're on the go and you see this bright pink and purple button, you can actually talk to the document. So all you need to do is to click on that button, and you can say your answer. Say your question, like what are the digital trends that are there in the financial market. So this is something that I want to figure out because I'm doing this study. And then it gives me a response. And again, all of this response is annotated, which I can then go ahead, analyze if it is right. And once I'm done, I can pick this up and place it anywhere else. So even when I'm on commute, I can casually get this work done. And then when I come on desktop, I can go ahead, continue, pick up those responses and take them ahead. We also have AI Assistant on web. So various surfaces, not just your Acrobat, desktop app that you have, could be Pro, Standard, Reader, but even on mobile and web, wherein in the web integration, you can use to look into your transcript. So here I have integrated with Microsoft Teams, and all the meetings that I had recorded in that particular set of 15 days are here. I can open up these documents, and you can see it generates the summary, and it also gives me the next step, right? Next steps that I need to do. So all I need to do is to now copy this, paste it in an email, and send it across to the stakeholders. So not just reviewing your meeting, but also actively helps you analyze documents. And this, what we have seen is, it can help you, like if you are in a document extensive role, you're in a role that reads a lot of documents, it can help you save up to 40 to 60% of your time, 8+ hours per week, reading, analyzing, formulating a response as per your liking, right? Also, you can analyze regulatory documents. So suppose there are certain compliances that you need to adhere to. These are documents. All of this is published as a part of the documents, right? So you can go into these documents, open up your generative AI, and ask questions that so as to analyze those documents a lot easier. So it's not just banking, insurance, and financial. You also have auxiliary units, right? Like operations, marketing, HR. Now, these units also, in HR, you want to analyze a resume. In marketing, you want to do a product research. In operations, you want to analyze vendor documents, vendor contracts, or compare quotes that you have got. So not just banking, insurance, and financial sector, your support teams like sales, marketing, operations, HR, everybody can come together and use the solution on the documents that they need. So basically with Adobe, you're going to get a seamless experience. You're going to get secure data and a reliable output. Right. So seamless experience, how as you saw, we have integrated the generative AI in the desktop application, mobile application, the web application, making it easier for you to do your work where you want to. So we are not forcing you to kind of stick to a particular solution or a device. You can, wherever you go, it is going to go with you.
And it's got the same functionality across all three formats. I mean, all three devices.
Absolutely, it's the same. Right. Great question again. So secure document, I think this is where we're going to, respond to security. So first few things, right? From a security perspective, we do not use your data to train our model. And we understand, I think there were, Bikramjeet and even Anish had asked this question about data security, right? So even though we have servers in US and Japan, as I said, the data gets cached for 12 hours. We do not use this data to train our models. And after 12 hours, this data gets deleted. Now, from a compliance and data privacy perspective, Anish, specifically for you, uh, the fact we also have encryption of data at rest and when it is in rest and when it is in motion. So the data is secured as you're conversing with our servers as well, right? And I also spoke in the middle about only people who have access to generative AI, right, will have access to and whatever documents that they have access to, they'll be able to analyze. Otherwise, if there is some information stored in a third-party solution, they'll not be pulling in data from there. So as an end user, I'm only looking at my document, and whenever I am using generative AI or AI assistant to understand this document a little bit better, the channel that I'm using to communicate is secured, and as well as we have security practices and policies in place which kind of delete the data after 12 hours, which is one of the best in the industry actually today. We also are a firm believer of ethical AI, and I'm going to deep dive into this a little bit more in reliable output. So the company believes in having accountability, responsibility, and transparency when it comes to any of our AI modules, generative AI solution that we are keeping out there, right? Accountability in terms of commitment in taking ownership of what the resources, the processes that we have put in place. Responsibility that during the designing, place, deployment, and maintenance, we are doing our due diligence. And transparency, so we've also got a document and a blog which is you'll be able to search for it really quickly. It's a 5-pager document which talks about the security policy and how the entire data interaction works. So it tells you, it has an architecture diagram that you can also understand how the entire interaction takes place. It goes from your computer to our server, what are the middle layers, and how we are annotating things back, right? And we also have an AI ethics review board, which oversees our AI deployment and development and deployment. And we go through rigorous testing, in the sense that sometimes we we delay the release of our products to ensure that you as customers would get the right products. So we have extensive beta programs that are run to ensure that before the product goes into the market, they are secured, they are efficient for you to use. So also from a reliability perspective, the fact that we have annotations, attributions that help you analyze and verify the response, makes it really easy for you. So basically with AI Assistant, you're going to get high quality insights. Is going to help you rewrite, reword the language, the documents in your own language. It's easy to deploy. So this is a solution you can just plug and play. You buy AI Assistant, then all you have to do is to assign the packages to the end user, and they can start using it from day one, in fact. And your data remains yours. So you are in control of your data. We are not using it to train our generative AI solution. On the roadmap, as I said, we have things like we need to be able to read scan documents, increase the page limits, and there are certain other things that we are also working on. From a customer perspective, TCS has used this solution especially to summarize their conferences. So TCS has an annual conference, and they use the solution. They'll be using the solution to, get the transcripts from the people, orators in that particular conference, and analyze those transcripts. Otherwise, that takes up a lot of time. Soumik would know. Soumik and his team would know that.
Absolutely. I'm looking at the number of questions coming in. I'm just wondering if you have a solution for taking audience questions and Gen AI plugins, perhaps. But yeah, I mean, it's a good sign. Go on.
Or summarize them in a single or a bunch of questions,
Possibly,
right?
yeah.
Yeah, so really effective in terms of the ROI that you can get from a solution perspective. So I'm going to do I want to kind of answer these questions before I move on. Meanwhile, I'll also request you to fill in the feedback form, right? Okay, Munaf has asked, does it work on a guided or okay, I need more information on that question, Munaf. Manish has asked, can I compare RFP responses? Okay.
So Munaf had earlier asked, does it work on guided or autopilot AI features? And now I think he's added to say that, guided, when he says guided, it means human intervention. So, what percentage of this is human intervention, and how much of this can be relied upon to work independently?
Oh, yeah. So right now you do not need human intervention. You're not training the solution. You're just, using the solution, right? So only thing that you need to do is to give it a prompt and make that prompt as nuanced as possible. So you can also what a lot of our customers do is, you ask the first question and then you have like a trail of questions to kind of get the response that you want. So it does take context from its previous response to keep on evaluating and get you the best response as well, right? Vikas has asked, will it work on scanned document as well? So not right now, but this is there in our roadmap, Vikas. But there's an Indian jugaad also, so you can you can convert the document into a Word file using Acrobat, and then convert the Word into PDF and then use it. Then it works actually.
You can trust us with the jugaad.
Always. Can generative AI be used in underwriting or risk assessment process in insurance? Aman, great question. So it can definitely be used, in making faster analysis, quicker decisions. But the thing is, you would still need someone to oversee that, because generative AI is going to kind of create language from the text that you have, but there needs to be a layer of someone deciding that if this response and which position you should take as an organization. So yeah, what it'll help you is it can help you reduce the processing time for an insurance application that you have. Can it be, Manish has asked, can it be integrated with document management like SharePoint or OneDrive or Google Drive? Great question, Manish. So right now we are integrated with Teams. So Microsoft Teams, there is a Acrobat application that you can set up on Teams. On SharePoint, OneDrive, and Google Drive, right now we are not integrated natively, but and I can't comment for it to be on the roadmap right now. So, I mean, but yeah, we have a Teams integration in place. We also have, in fact, integration with Chrome. So in Chrome, you have applications that you can run, right? So whenever you open up a document, it will open on Acrobat extension in Chrome. So in that extension, we do have AI assistant, but I think you will need to be a pro or a standard user for it, right? Manish has asked, does it help to get percentage clarity of images like photos of a person or a document? It doesn't understand images just as yet, so it doesn't process information from images just as yet. That's why we are not looking into scan document right now. Also, Manish has a lot of questions. Can we You're
The very, very specific use cases,
yeah.
He's like
Can,
one click away from installing AI assistant.
yeah. Can we attach workflows or action, loop, approve, or escalations? So in Teams, I think you could try it, like you could try installing Acrobat as an application, and I know that they have an approval workflow. So you could use it in that sense. But right now we do not have something out of the box. This would be like, multiple applications working together to work for that particular use case. Also, can we participate in the beta program? Reach out to us, Manish. I think whenever when you fill this feedback form, put in that you would want access. I'm not sure. So everybody gets 5 tries, Manish. So we are not actively looking at beta program right now, participating in the beta program, but you get those 5 tries that you can use to get a taste of generative AI solution. AI assistant solution, and then you'll need to procure it. That's the thing. Any special for resume creation? So not for resume creation, but Neelam, for resume analysis, this could be because if you give it like certain data points, you've put it in the document, then you ask it to create a resume, it could create that resume in text, and then you'll need to kind of format it and manage it yourself. So a little bit of your work plus AI assistant together will work. All these features are also available in Microsoft 365. Rivnit, great observation again. So the thing is, every solution, right, has its own nuances. Today, I'm talking about things like a 12-hour analysis. I also in the middle spoke about Adobe's ability to understand documents being more nuanced, right? So there are certain aspect every generative AI brings to the table. Also, this is as you saw, it's a very easy to use solution. The end user also doesn't have a lot of options that they need to play around with. So it's like if I have to analyze documents, I can just open them up and start interacting. It's not that I have to put these documents, open up a browser, open up a website, put these documents there, and then start analyzing. So every solution has its own challenges, has its own things that it will work for you. It's for you to decide, what would be the best thing for you per se. Deepak has asked if we provide some data in unstructured format, like data collected from machine, we can get a summary and the solution of questions like reason of failure, compare numeric data and give reasons. Yeah, absolutely. The only thing is, I don't think this data is going to be in scanned format. So till the time it's in text computer generated format, you're good to go. Just put that document in. It will be just very similar to, analyzing transcribes from conversation, which is in .vtt format, which we analyze. So unstructured data, a lot of it works fine. So yeah.
Quite a few really relevant questions there, especially with the unstructured data. One quick question for you, Ketki. Now, you've given us a lot of info about AI assistant. It looks very promising. What do you think are the current limitations? And also, for a company or for an IT leader, deploying Gen AI, even contemplating Gen AI, what are some of the foundational, building blocks, or what are some of the basics that the company would have to have in place?
Definitely. So certain basics that the company needs to have in place, or like if you're a leader, or if you're anyone who is influencing how the generative AI landscape for your organization should look like, there are 3 things I think that you need to take care of. First is first is security, right? How secured is the solution? So certain security aspect, and what is the security policy of the organization that you're taking on? So you have to be very well versed with that. So it needs to be a secured solution that you take on. That's the first. The second thing is your end user experience also matters. So you need to understand your own organization requirement. So organizations in BFSI sector, which are document heavy, right, wherein you need to read documents day in and day out, understand documents in a bunch, right? So what would be the best solution that would work for an organization that like yours, right? Maybe you can do with a general generative AI solution rather than a more focused or creating a generative AI solution for your organization. So in that case, those are the kind of, then do you go with a product which is out of the box or build your own? So those kind of decisions you need to take. Also, you need to consider the deployment time, because there is this time, if you spend a lot of time in deployment, essentially you're not using the solution for a few months or the time of deployment, right? So you need to take into account how fast you can start using the technology, and how fast is good enough for your organization, right? So again, very nuanced answer, but you have to look into your organization, your needs under these three criteria, and then decide a solution that best fits your requirements. Anything else, Soumya? Yeah, Manish, it can be used for medical transcripts as well. And also, Anish has asked, many AI tools nowadays are available in the in the market. How do we differentiate? So basically, differentiating factors are, as I said, we understand the documents really well, the security policies that are in place, the fact that we are LLM agnostic, are few of the differentiator factors for Adobe. And also in-app experience, right? The fact that you can open up a document and start interacting with it. So if that is it from our end, I think we can go ahead, conclude this session. Thank you everyone for joining in and listening to us. Please fill in the feedback form and we can take it from there.